All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. You mean WWF One Night Only. Your host, Mike.
Frank, let's get to this. Definitely one night only. Wow. They had a really bad buy rate on this. It was a point zero 0.05, which is roughly 20,000 buys on this. They had a restricted availability to this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know they were doing this. I watched the Monday Night Raw to follow this, and they announced that Shawn Michaels won the
yeah.
title, won the European title in Birmingham. And I'm like, when did this happen?
Yeah, the reason why they didn't announce it, they didn't really want to confuse the US audience because we weren't going to be able to watch it. So that's why they really didn't hype it up or anything like that. And that's why it was a low buy rate because it was only available in the UK and Canada through Sky Sports. But normally with Sky Sports, they got all of the pay-per-views that we paid for. Sky Sports aired them basically free for these people. It was part of their package. But for this particular event, even if you had a Sky Sports subscription, you had to then additionally pay for the pay-per-view. So they were trying something new and it kind of didn't work.
Yeah, they shit the bed on this one.
And also, there's a few match changes too because originally Brett was supposed to fight Austin on this one. Taker was supposed to fight Ahmed, and Owen was supposed to fight Ken Shamrock.
Hmm.
Those are three of the original matches that never
Yeah,
happened.
and Shamrock was injured
Yeah,
because then he would also be out in the following in your house. Ahmed Johnson injured
yeah,
for the thousandth time, and of course Austin is still out
yeah.
with his neck.
The neck, yeah.
So September 20th, 1997, from Birmingham, England, you had Vince, JR, and Lawler doing the commentating on this one. Um, what's funny is on the opening match, which is Dude Love versus Triple H, they actually say while Triple H is coming out that he's facing Owen Hart. And I'm like, no, you guys just didn't make that error.
Tell
And
me
I'm
they did
like,
not just say that.
wait a minute, Owen Hart. So I go back and I look at the match card. I'm like, you jet lagged guys. What is this? But no, it was Dude Love versus Triple H. And when Triple H comes out, it's funny because they segment on the Titantron. Dude Love was over there acting like Austin Powers, and Vince is giving several references to Austin Powers. He's like, I really like that movie, and you got Dude Love pretending to be in.
Yeah,
It was funny.
Dude Love was funny. He never really took off, I guess, but he was funny.
My only problem with him is when Austin won the title, I would have preferred it be Cactus Jack
Yeah,
than Dude
and
Love
Dude
being
Love,
the
yeah.
the
Oh
guy he
yeah.
feuds with.
But they wanted it to be more of like because Cactus Jack was I wouldn't say
More
he was
intense and
similar to Austin,
hardcore.
but he was more intense and hardcore. Where Dude Love was comedy, so they wanted that contrast between the two of them. So I understood why they made that
Or
decision.
even give us Mankind. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just the Dude Love thing at first, I'm like,
It was
Austin
funny.
wins the title,
Yeah,
we're
it was
getting
funny.
this.
It was
Come on.
funny.
So, and I love, Dude Love, Sean has sweet chin music. Dude Love's got sweet chin music.
Yeah.
And he actually did it to
Right,
Triple
right.
H in
Yeah.
this. It's fun. This was comical,
No, it
this
was good. It was
match.
good. It was well done.
I liked it. Dude Love hits his double arm DDT. He went for the pin. However, China, put Triple H's foot on the rope. And then, dude, explaining to the ref, he turned around, Triple H pedigrees him and wins.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, Mick Foley could never get the upper hand on Helmsley, no matter what year they're fighting or what gimmick you're using. Helmsley's always going to get over on him,
Yep.
unfortunately. So, that being said, right after this match, Sonny came out to be the guest ring announcer for the next match. Oh, God. And this guy really only fought on house shows and international shows. He never really was on Raw. And this is Tiger Ali Singh
He was like
facing Leaf Cassidy.
he was like the new $1 million man. So, but just not good.
I just felt like he was Mansoor, the guy that only fought, WWE gives him a contract, but only fights when
He
they
had
go to Saudi Arabia until they finally
yeah,
brought him over.
he had a good look though. I mean, he kind of looked the part. I would say he looked the part,
Yeah, until he talked on the
but then
microphone.
or the bell rang.
Yeah,
So that was it.
especially this night where he's like, he's Asian Canadian, which the fans automatically booing. And he's like,
Yeah.
the kids need to not do drugs. And I'm like, dude, you need to like get into this match. I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't
And
know.
even Vince was like, well, I agree with his message. Yeah, well, he's not out here to be a spokesman, bro. He's out here to wrestle. I mean, come on. I mean, this was a short 4-minute match. At this point, this is like Leaf Cassidy's last thing before he turns around. He goes back to ECW for a small stint and then comes back as Al Snow.
Mhm.
Uh, Singh hits the Tiger Bomb with a pin, and he gets the victory. He doesn't stay fan favorite for too long. He does turn heel, but again, he was only on house shows and the international tours. He never was on Raw, hardly ever. If you saw him,
Well, he
so this
wasn't
is
even there. He wasn't even there very long either. Something
no, he
happened where
wasn't.
he gets
I think it
there's
was 6 months.
there's a story where he gets injured, and I think he might have. I don't know if he sued WWE. Something happened. I think it was in Puerto Rico. Something happened. I don't know. Either way, moving on.
In any event, after this, they actually showed what happened at Ground Zero in the tag title match where Austin cost Owen and Bulldog the tag titles. And the Headbangers became the champions. And our next match is for the tag titles. The Headbangers in their first televised, sort of televised, title defense against Los Boricuas. It'd be Miguel Perez Jr. and Savio Vega. And this was kind of weak. I didn't enjoy it, even though I like the Headbangers. I just I know you didn't like the Headbangers. I'll tell you when we both liked the Headbangers was the night the DX hit them over the head with the boombox when they were playing poker in the ring, and the Headbangers like, dude, we have a match here, and they're over here playing strip poker, and then they hit the stereo over their head. That's when you really like the Headbangers. I didn't like them in 2000 when they started wearing the brassieres and shit. That was when, all right, you guys went too far. But here, they were all right. You know, I liked them. The fans liked them. Hey, they kept the titles in their first title defense. In this one, you know, Miguel hits Thrasher with a power bomb, almost botched it, by the way. And then Mosh came off the top rope, hit Miguel, and got the pin. So the Headbangers get their first victory. Unfortunately, their title reign would be very short at this point, especially when they go into the next pay per view. So
Yeah, because it's worth mentioning. So this pay-per-view was in between in your houses.
yeah, between Ground Zero and Bad Blood.
Right, yeah. So it's just I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, this was a couple of weeks after Ground Zero.
Yeah.
So our next segment, Jim Ross had a sit-down interview with the British Bulldog. This is where I actually I kind of felt for him, and I was sort of rooting for him in the match because I know what he was going through as far as having a sibling that battled their entire life with cancer, and he dedicated this match to his sister who was battling her entire life with it. I kind of felt for him.
That was rooting for him too.
Yeah, in this case, I really was because he dedicated it to his family.
He's in the UK. Yeah, we'll get into it later.
Yeah, this is the one night that I pretty much I cursed Sean out, and we'll get to that. So my hate for Sean though didn't last long. Our next match was this was kind of two fan favorites too, but they really booed one really bad. It was the Patriot versus Flash Funk, but they were booing the Patriot mainly because he's flying Old Glory
American flag, yeah.
in England.
Yeah.
Well, you are going to get booed. I'm sorry. If you left the flag at home, they might have cheered you.
That was a gimmick.
The match to me was garbage. I don't understand why you had these two fighting each other. Patriots got a feud going with the Hart family, not Flash Funk. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a throwaway.
It was. Funk went for the moonsault. Patriot got his knees up. He got Funk into the full Nelson slam, or what he called it, the Uncle Slam, and pinned him and got the victory.
Get it, Uncle Sam. All right. Yeah. There you go.
So this, and this is going to lead Patriot into the next pay per view, which would be the flag match, which again was pointless because honestly, and I have said it, Vader should have been in the title match with Brett, but I'm not getting into that now. So moving on after that garbage, they had the segment with the Legion of Doom. Following this, reason why is because now the Legion of Doom is going to face the Godwins.
Yeah.
The Godwins, who blamed the Legion of Doom for Henry Godwin broke his neck earlier in the year from a doomsday device.
Wow, legitimate injury.
Yeah, they don't show the highlights, but if anybody has seen it, and I have, when he lands on the top of his head,
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
These guys are still over. Were you saying Billy Godwins?
As a result of this, when they came back, they turned heel.
Yeah, they were had more of an edge. They were big guys too.
They were better as that too.
I think they were. I think to a degree. Yeah, it's debatable, but Over here, I think they were fine. Legion of Doom was still really over in the UK. You know,
I
just
mean,
you
they
know,
were
it's
over in WWE, but it's just
yeah,
nobody
but I
wanted to
think
admit that these guys just couldn't cut it anymore.
they couldn't cut it anymore. But I think they were still probably more over just because maybe these guys didn't get to really see them.
Yeah.
You know, and so
Oh, if that's the case,
I
bring
always
Marty
thought,
Jannetty back.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Adam Bomb.
So the thing with the Legion of Doom was I don't know about you, but when I see Hawk back in the UK, I can only think of SummerSlam '92 when he goes crazy and he leaves and joins the Hell's Angels or something like that, and then he gets fired, suspended.
And the Berserkers, he goes with John Nord.
Yeah.
They both go AWOL,
Yeah.
and then Crush is got to pretend to be a Legion of Doom
Right.
member to finish out the tour. I
Yeah, it was
remember
a
that whole
mess.
thing. I'm laughing
Yeah.
my
He
ass off
burned.
on that.
He I think he parked the motorcycle too close to Animal or on the wrong side. So then Animal, when he gets off the motorcycle, he gets burned because of that. And then during that match, you can see Animal kind of limping. But anyway, Legion was back in the UK.
Yep, against the Godwins. And what's funny is to end this match, they put him. But it wasn't good. It wasn't Henry this time. It was Phineas in the Doomsday device,
Hmm.
and they pin him. What's funny here is the Godwins lose this match, yet they are the number one contenders for the tag titles. I don't get that because they go to Bad Blood to face the Headbangers for the tag titles, and they beat them, and the Godwins become the tag champions. But there's going to be a whole lot of tag title changes because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it goes from the Godwins to Legion of Doom for a cup of coffee, and then to the New Age Outlaws when they surface. So, I mean, it's going to be totally chaotic. But I just didn't understand they lose the match, but they're the number one contenders. So that's Vince's thinking for you here. Following this, in the ring, Jim Ross did an interview with Ken Shamrock. Pretty much, he was supposed to face Owen Hart, but he was injured in round one of the Intercontinental title tournament. Spine buster from Farouk. Was coughing up blood. What's funny here is, and I thought this gimmick was over by now. Rockabilly comes out. I really thought this was over
No, it wasn't.
at this
Yeah.
point. I thought they were getting ready for the New Age Outlaws at this point.
Rockin' Bill. Yeah, rockin'.
But he interrupts Shamrock. They went at it, and Shamrock puts him in the ankle lock. And I thought that was fun. But again, I really thought Rockabilly was laid to rest. But if it wasn't already, it is now. Thank you. Yeah, please, seriously. And then also after this, Vince interviewed Bret Hart about his match with the Undertaker. Vince getting a little attitude in his thing, trying to play words on Bret. He was like, "Are you scared of him?" This and that. And Bret didn't sound like a heel in this interview. He actually was praising the Undertaker a little bit.
No, he's in the UK. In the UK and in Canada, he's a babyface.
He's normal, yeah. But when he's down in the US, he's a bum. So it was always good to see those two guys wrestling in the ring. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Our next match was probably his last pay-per-view victory, and that was Vader versus Owen Hart. And I'm not joking, people. He went 1998 winless on pay-per-views. Why they did this, I have no idea.
This is a good match, though.
It really was. It was.
Yeah. Man, I can't believe Owen slammed Vader too.
I know, right?
You don't realize, you don't realize how strong these guys really are because the wrestlers they're telling a story. So I give you a perfect example. Like I've seen Sting slam the Giant, aka the Big Show, right? So all these guys are capable, but they only want to show you like certain guys like a Hogan or a Warrior actually lift up these monsters,
Kevin Nash.
Because they want to give the impression like, oh, only the strongest of the strong. But that was, man, Owen slammed him, man. I was surprised he did it.
And Vader didn't jump into it.
No,
I mean, you can tell when these guys jump into a slam.
Yeah. Cool. Do something different for the guys overseas. That's cool.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm an Owen fan. And when he did that, I was like, I actually wanted Owen to win this match. Because, again, like I said, I've always been an Owen fan. Except what he did, the whole thing with Austin. I liked Owen Hart. Always, we said, uncrowned champion. What's funny is Owen got him in the sharpshooter on Vader. Vader got to the ropes. He didn't submit. He went for the Vader bomb, and Owen got his knees up. So these guys are kind of, they're definitely battling back and forth here. However, Owen went off the top rope. Vader caught him and kind of power slammed him, and that's how he got the victory here against him. So Vader beats Owen Hart. Like I said, this would be unfortunately, his final pay-per-view victory. Just going forward, that's it for him. So following this match, they showed what happened at SummerSlam with Brett, Shawn, and The
Hmm.
Undertaker. Shawn hitting Taker with the chair. He had to count the three. And what followed with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, um, because our next match for the WWE Championship was Bret Hart defending it against The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And, and this, wow, man, if you haven't talked about, this will be in their final match that they're ever going to face, man, did they leave it all out there?
Yeah, you know what the sad thing is, man? I don't. This wasn't even on the Coliseum home video in the U.S., the VHS version. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, they cut out this match. I guess they just wanted it exclusive. Later on down the line, when they released the DVDs, it's there. But on the initial release, because remember, we got to see One Night Only when it came out on VHS
Yeah.
over here in the States, but it wasn't there. It wasn't in the match. I'm pretty sure it wasn't there. But
If it
yeah, great.
wasn't, I don't understand why.
Yeah, great
I
match
mean,
though.
you're talking about almost a 30-minute match
Hmm.
between these two guys. I mean, anytime these guys ever fought, Royal Rumble 96, SummerSlam 97 here, they left it all out there. These two guys just worked really well together. And this match was no different. Unfortunately, it was disqualification victory, but that's the reason why is for both to save face at
Right.
this
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
because they're both red hot
Right.
going into their now separate feuds,
Hmm.
and so neither one of them can lose momentum. But I mean, you talk about Bret Hart had the figure four leg lock for a while on him until finally Taker was able to reverse it. Bretton got to the ropes, in order to break it up. Taker had gone for a leg drop to the groin a second time, and they always have that. Gorilla always had that expression: "You go to the well once too often." And the
Hmm.
second time he did it, Bret catches it and puts him into the sharpshooter. Taker obviously kicked out of it, which made the crowd went nuts at this point because they've never seen anybody kick out of the sharpshooter. Um, Bret tried again, but Taker stopped it. Bret tried to use the bell by this point. He's like, "What the hell? Use a bell." Because I don't know how else to beat this guy at this point. I'm not losing
Hmm.
my title. But he was unsuccessful. Then Taker tried to use it, but the ref grabbed it. Bret got caught. Now, this is where the disqualification to me didn't make any sense. Bret gets caught in the rope, his head. He pulled a Cactus Jack. Referee's trying to get him out. Taker's still pounding on him.
Yeah.
But because Undertaker wouldn't stop, the referee disqualified him. I have
DQ.
never heard of
Yeah.
somebody being caught in the rope and you DQ them. I never heard of that. And that's how it ends.
Well, I don't know if I've seen it before, but you can DQ somebody for that.
This was the first
Yeah.
I've ever
Well,
seen,
it's the
man.
same thing if you don't break a hold.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
like if he gets to the ropes and you don't break the hold, they'll DQ you. Same concept.
That we've
They just
definitely
did,
seen.
yeah, they just did a different twist on it, but it's the same concept. He's in the ropes and this guy keeps hitting him, and so that's why he got DQ'd. We haven't really seen it before, but it's the same, it's that same concept.
So what do we see after this, and what has the Undertaker been accustomed to after matches? He choke slams the referee.
Yeah, that was cool.
So and then Owen came out to help Bret. The ring announcer announced the outcome, and then Taker's chasing the poor guy. The poor guy jumps over the railing with the fans. He's like, "Am I safe yet? Can I come back?" Because it wasn't Howard Finkel. They had their own in Birmingham. But I just love that he announced that he's kind of like egging on the Undertaker. Like, what did you just say? So by this point, Taker is sort of hitting that heel turn. He's not quite there yet, but it's sort of coming.
Hmm.
It took a while for it to happen, but he's being really aggressive. He's probably also tired of being screwed over at this point. Can't say I blame him. You got screwed out of your title. You never got your rematch for it, and I mean, and now you having a hard time. You can't even beat Shawn Michaels because the first match ends in a no contest, and what we've got coming up is he's going to lose to him again. So following this match, now once they got all the participants out of the ring, they did a Shawn Michaels segment where Vince asked him, "Can you top the previous match?" Shawn's reply, "My middle name is Top This." Okay, I thought your middle name was Shawn, but okay, no problem. It's Top This.
Yeah, they were talking about Sean going for the Grand Slam.
Yeah, he was the former WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, tag champion, and now he's going for the European title, be the first ever Grand Slam champion, which honestly, this putting the title on him at this point pretty much just was for that. It had no other meaning going forward whatsoever. You know, just putting the title on him just felt pointless, other than okay, he'll be the Grand Slam champion, but no other wrestler was worried about doing that at this point.
Well, the story was the Bulldog was supposed to go over in this match. It was in his hometown. He dedicated the match to his sister,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to go over. And apparently there was politicking on Sean's behalf. There's a lot of rumor and innuendo. But Sean said that he needed the heat to lead into his match with Brett, champion versus champion, and get all the heat on DX, get all the heat on them. So it made sense for him to win the title, which was BS because
Yeah.
it's like, and we'll get into the match. I mean, the spoiler alert, you know who wins this match.
Of course.
But
Same guy that wins every Sean
yeah,
Bulldog match.
but Bulldog, he always got over on him. Like I'm sure Bulldog beat him on house shows, but as far as live stuff,
Never.
Sean always beat him.
And I agree. I think Bulldog should have won this night.
Bulldog should have went over. They also said he had lost weight. He had mentioned in one of the promos, so he could keep up with Sean to be quick, just as quick as Sean. Which he did. I think he actually did look a little slimmer.
Yeah,
He's in great shape. And this was a good match. I thought it was a good match.
It was.
But
I just didn't like the 4-on-1.
Like so much outside interference with.
Now, also, did you notice
and
this? The way the ring was set up was weird. You noticed that, okay, the rampway, they had that the press cork ramp to get up to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're standing there in front of the ring, if you cannot go around ringside on this side because there was absolutely no room whatsoever. All the room was on this side, and you had that 3-foot drop from the apron or from the outside padding to the fans. So it was weird how this was set up. And Bulldog's lucky he didn't blow his knee out because he legitimately fell off of that and hurt his knee that night. And
the knee brace, but I mean that was part of storyline, obviously.
Storyline, but when he fell off of that thing, I mean, he's lucky he didn't get hurt. That was a really weird ring setup that they had.
His wife is out there too. His sister
walked
out with him.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Everything was set up for him to win. But the match goes on. A lot of interference from, China and Triple H, right? No, Rude.
Because he had the figure 4 leg lock on him forever, and they're both holding him. And I'm like, how stupid is the freaking referee at this point?
The ref is right there. And he's like, the referee is standing on top of Bulldog. And I'm like, why is he standing on? I know it's wrestling. I know it's not real, right? But it's just,
but we're still fans of it.
Because he's standing over Bulldog, looking at him. Like, obviously you can't see the back. Like, why are you standing over this guy? And he kept, using these guys kept pulling Sean out to get more leverage.
Yeah.
Bulldog refuses to tap.
I mean, the whole time the referee is not even throwing these guys out of here. Like, he sees Rude standing there. He sees China and Triple H standing there. But you're letting them stay there.
The other stupid part storytelling wise is why is the Heart Foundation not out there with him?
Thank you. Why did they wait until China to put her hands on Diana?
We'll go into the ending.
No one showed up.
Let's just go into the ending for that matter. Bulldog passes out.
Yeah.
They ring the bell. Now Sean is the new European champion.
He throws the brace. At
Diana.
Diana can't take it anymore. She gets into the ring. China puts her hands on her. That's when Brett and Owen show up.
But
it took their sister for them to come down.
But they never even got to touch DX. At least
they didn't.
The fans that DX gets a beating. No, they run out. They're doing the DX stuff and champion. Again, I understand. Oh, we got to get heat, but
they already got enough.
No, but you got. But my problem is this: is that okay? You're doing this, but we're not even getting to see it, the U.S. audience, right? So what heat are you really generating?
Exactly. Thank you.
Give the U.K. people what they want. Give them the happy ending.
Let Bulldog pin Shawn Michaels, hold the title high, bring his sister into the ring.
Could have done something on Raw or something.
Put the belt on her or something.
Right.
And then the next week on Raw
or something.
Shawn gets his rematch, and you do this there.
Right, something like that. But give the U.K. This is for them. Give them their happy ending. The hometown hero. He dedicated to his sister. Instead, DX makes a mockery. Heart Foundation runs out there, Brett and Owen, but he's already gone. I also didn't
like that Sean was talking to his sister, yelling at her and telling her things. And I'm like, bro, don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
felt terrible for the sister because
I did.
I would imagine that obviously she knows it's a work, right? She knows it's not real,
Yeah, but
but she
still,
probably knew that she probably thought Bulldog's gonna go over. I would imagine, right?
I don't think he
Um,
could tell them the outcome
yeah,
beforehand.
yeah. So I mean, I either way, I just thought it was a shit ending. I didn't agree with this at
This
all.
night it should have went to the Heart Foundation.
Yeah, it should have been their night.
It always was when they went to Canada. They always had the upper hand. Why not when
I don't
when
know.
Bulldog went to
I
London,
just
went to England?
I don't,
Especially after you dedicated this to her. And again, like you said, where was the Heart Foundation prior to this?
yeah,
You see these guys down in the ring. Brett, Owen, Anvil, everybody should have gotten the hell out
yeah,
there, beat the hell out of these guys, and make it a fair fight.
yeah.
No, we're gonna wait until they touch my sister. Oh, then we're gonna come out.
And then they
Oh, and
never
by the
even
way,
touched them
Bulldog
because
beat. Yeah,
Sean and
exactly.
Hunter they run.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, they check on Diana. Oh, Davy boy, you okay?
Yeah, you all right? Anyway, thought it was a shit ending.
It took Diana. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
Sean's the
anyway,
Grand Slam champion. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, whatever.
it's great. It's wonderful.
We need heat. All right, good for
Yeah.
you.
All right. So well, let us know what you guys think about that ending. Let us know if you agree or you disagree.
Yeah, by all means, tell us.
Yeah. So all right, you guys make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.